retail stores. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me begin as well. Shall we?
Yes.
Welcome back, Jazz. We are at episode 13, getting closer.
Yes, indeed. Glad to be back, Neff.
It's it's great. There's been lot of events. I'm following a lot of uh, AI talks going on around,
Mm,
and agentic AI especially has been in a lot of conversations. Recently, I was reading a news about ServiceNow acquiring MoveWorks, and I'm
mm,
following quite a bit on this acquisition. It's on LinkedIn, it's all over the places, especially for me on my wall. Like this news is coming back over and over from different angles, and it sounds very interesting how MoveWorks have built agentic AI solution for employee experience is going to be a game changer for ServiceNow on their huge ecosystem on the customer experience side. So I'm clearly seeing an alignment of employee experience and customer experience through this acquisition and agentic AI, which is in the center of it. So there are a lot of conversations going on about agentic
mm,
AI, not just this acquisition, but even overall from different conferences, summaries, and keynotes. But
mm,
but it's interesting to see how stable it's going to be and how we can rely on it quite soon.
mm. True, true.
Yeah,
I mean, of
yeah,
course, there's always pros and cons when it comes to such automation.
yeah. All right, so let's start our episode number 13, e-commerce platform development. And for environment, we're going to discuss how does e-commerce reduce the environmental impact of brick and mortar stores. Definitely in today's world, we all are very much used to buying online, and it is very well energy efficient for sure on the store side. It needs no lighting, less heating usage because of less traffic within the stores, and there are less maintenance on the stores. Just in the warehouses and supply chain for sure, it's extra workload, but within the retail stores there are very less uh, resource needs in this case. Less traffic, less parking. Overall, it's a win-win situation for customer convenience and stores supply chains. With e-commerce, like we can automate the ordering process as well. We can optimize packaging. Everything happens digital through all the way from catalog through e-receipts and automation alerts, notifications. Everything goes through the system. And these days, even intelligent systems are much smarter to to divert the order to the closest warehouse and managing logistics also in a very efficient way to deliver orders in the same area by consolidating the delivery vehicles. And it also helps in real-time data to control inventory in these stores, in the warehouses. It
Mm,
can help reduce overproduction and huge wastage of the resources to keep up the stocks in the warehouses, have the staff keep sorting those things, and have it delivery ready as soon as orders are there. But with e-commerce, everything can happen with the real-time data to manage supply and demand chain, and and to give more personalized marketing opportunity uh, to that area. But talking about environment here, of course, it reduces the traffic. Let's say, like for an example, like where I live, I was I ordered an item to hardware store a couple days ago, and a service called DoorDash. They delivered that product that ordered at my doorstep. What I noticed, on the very next door, the same guy was delivering a food. That means the delivery is being outsourced as well to small
Mm,
vendors, to small delivery
mm,
chains, right? So, and those are not like permanent delivery partners for one store. Those
mm,
people are actually servicing even more than one business unit. So imagine, like, it is helping the economy also at scale. It's not only managing expense or environment for one unit, but it's actually creating more employment. So overall,
mm,
it's a big win. So yeah, and like for example, like in my neighborhood, if 100 families are living, and all those 100 houses, families are going to one store, there are 100 cars on the road, there are 100 people in the store making
mm,
buying stuff and then coming back. So back and forth trip. Imagine the traffic and emission they're gonna send. On the other side, if we are all ordering online, and the same store is sending one vehicle with the order delivery for all those 100 families, see, like, it's clearly seen like how much e-commerce is helping to control the environment, and and the wastage, right? So yeah, it's fun. It's good to see like how e-commerce is evolving. Of course, there is a flip side, but those are like financial and other there are other angles to look at it. But at the bottom line, it's definitely helping to the environment.
mm, mm, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, you brought up a good point uh, on these type of e-commerce and also even um, like delivery. Because over here in our region, I think most of us are familiar with what we call Grab. So they are one of the really good use cases when it comes to looking at the market opportunities, what is already available, and then turning it around into a successful business model. Take for example, because in ASEAN, especially in some of the markets like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, they have a
Hmm.
lot of motor vehicles. People tend to use motor vehicles, Vietnam as well, right? Like Vespas or motorcycles to as the mode of transport because cars tend to be more too expensive for
Hmm.
most. Um, so then I think when Grab enter into the market, those market, they see that there's already ready assets, right? Because like people already have that mode of transport. But then they empower them with the application then to let them make a living by doing deliveries and pickups of passengers. So then you turn it into a multi-purpose use, like your mode of transport becomes now something that you can use to transport other people, something that you can use to deliver goods. So it took off very well, needless to say, because of that model. And they actually empower a
Yeah.
lot of people and give them jobs, which they appreciate. And then now, of course, they're going into green EV vehicles. They are also exploring like ride sharing kind of model so that we can be a bit more eco-friendly as well. It's a bit like code sharing of the airplanes across different airlines, right? This is just
Yeah.
a smarter way to reduce to maximize the available seats and reduce the individual flights and individual rides on the road. Yeah, so definitely a good approach, I think.
Yes,
And
this
then yeah,
shared model is a game
yeah,
changer. Like the Uber or like
mm,
rideshare model. It
mm,
opened up big markets already in very different business streams, not just
yeah,
like the commute or taxi
yeah,
service, but it
mm,
opened up so many business opportunities. models. It created so much employment. Yeah, and it's helping
Mm,
environment in the end. Yeah.
for sure. And then I think, of course, on the whole, I think the physical stores should be used in a complementary fashion against the e-commerce platforms so that they can actually they use their physical store for the higher value, high touch goods, and then they use their e-commerce platforms for lower touch, more off the shelf kind of items. Like for example, I think luxury retail or most of the retailers, they're doing that quite well now. They are quickly moving a bulk of their items, like lower cost items like the perfumes, the cosmetics, even some of the lower value fashion items, and
Hmm.
having these as testers in store just to try out. But then when customers really want to buy, they can easily buy online to and some of them they even give preferential discounts if you buy online to kind of encourage the change of behavior
Yes.
for them to move online, right? And reduce the storage capacity needed because retail physical store is very expensive. Yeah, versus if you are storing it at your warehouse. And some of them are increasingly running on what I see as a build to order kind of model to reduce waste and cost. Where I think luxury fashion they try to minimize that also because their cost of production tend to be much higher. So they reduce they kind of limit and have limited quantities of each design. It's a very smart way of branding themselves as well to create demand. But at the other end, I do see as being responsible to reduce waste. And which is also why I am against fast fashion and cheap produce because of that very reason. I know like the recent tariffs, the tariff war that's still going on. It just made me realize just how much we are consuming, or like maybe we are over consuming. I'm happy to hear your thoughts on that because it says a lot about the consumer lifestyle right now. Everything fast, everything cheap, everything, they just everything in bulk. Like you want the same thing of everything. But then how many of that do we really need, right? At the end of the day, to be happy, to to
Yes.
move forward. Like how many toys do we need? How many pieces of clothing do we really need?
There are never enough
Like
toys.
never enough. Yeah, never enough, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing I am also noticing, like big e-commerce service providers have been giving little credit or discount
Mm,
sometimes,
mm,
if like quick delivery, like the DSLA, like quick delivery, is gonna
mm,
be the same rate, like free or whatever. But with extra
mm,
discount, they suggest like, okay, deliver it by Monday. Like if it is Wednesday today
mm,
and delivery is coming in
mm,
2 days, like in a
mm,
standard cycle, they offer like a little bit like 10% credit of the order value if I am okay to receive it by Monday. So it tells me they are
mm.
consolidating like a lot of deliveries on the same day to reduce
Yeah.
their delivery expense, or consolidating or merging a lot of orders together in one delivery truck, which is a smart move, definitely.
Mm,
Plus, they are
yeah.
delivering on electric vehicle, which is
Yeah,
another thing.
even better.
Yeah, even
Even
better.
better. Yeah.
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 Like, yeah, not all can afford, but yes, big providers are doing it, which is great.
Yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, it's really how much e-commerce can encourage that kind of approach using smart prediction, for their ordering needs, and then to reduce waste, be more efficient in combining bulk deliveries, especially around the same neighborhood, and then work with via like an ecosystem to empower other drivers or riders to help ride deliver at the same time. Yeah, so
Yeah,
so it is game changing.
totally.
Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Let's move on to the next topic, financials. What are the revenue implications of establishing an e-commerce presence?
Mm, mm,
imagine like you are running a retail store with like 10,000 square feet of like your floor, your store, and then like you have aisles and you have staff to manage it, versus you have your warehouse in your garage and a backyard and have a website to to run your marketing and sales. People come online, they place order, and you deliver right from the from your backyard or your garage warehouse, and it's already saving you a lot of money. And you are also
Mm.
creating a lot of employment with those like individual small businesses and like individuals like students who are doing part-time jobs, and they can use their vehicles to deliver your orders. So it's creating a lot of new revenue streams, um, and it can also help open up more marketplaces and more market opportunities for more vendors. So e-commerce horizon is both profitable or bigger in business horizontally and vertically across all sides. It gives you access beyond geographic limits. You can deliver anywhere in the world, from any place, right? And
Mm.
not just like you are running a business on your own, it is also helping build bigger economy at scale, as you are creating employment to a lot of individuals and small businesses, not just like having full-time staff where half of the people are not fully productive and not fully efficient. Some of the staff members you may not even need, or some of those like are overloaded, and there are a lot of HR expenses also to manage all of those. It's true, you still need staff for your small running from home e-commerce business. You still need that, but it'll be more efficient because you can closely monitor all of those, and you are you have better control at it. And e-commerce is not only about small scale. It can be big as well. Like look at Amazon, look at eBay, Flipkart, all these
Mm.
like huge. They have several warehouses. Like every single warehouse is like a big business in itself. But I'm still saying like it is e-commerce is creating a lot of revenue streams. So not anybody or everybody have to have those large warehouses and big staff and big ecosystem to run the business. Like e-commerce enabled a lot of small businesses also, and small businesses can also create a lot of small employments. So financially it is huge at scale, and it reduces the overhead costs, as I said, like no renting warehouses, no lot of staff, or no huge utilities expense on those warehouses. And it increases your margins also because you are cutting out all those wholesalers or the middlemen in your supply chain. You can directly deliver from your warehouse to the customer. So it improves profit, and it also help give better prices to your buyers. Plus you can be more data driven on this. Like you can optimize your inventory, you can personalize and offer great deals to your customers, and it will be win-win situation for you and your buyers and the both sides. So I see e-commerce is definitely a much better business option than the actual store. You may have a small store at a corner for display. There are a lot of business models I see where like customers do want to have personalized experience, or they wanna have a feel of the product before they buy it. And you can still do that like with fewer with high demanding inventory only there to demo your products, but heavy lifting can still be done on e-commerce. So you have better control on the financial cycle. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, very, very well said, actually. I think it's all about the scalability, right? When we talk about e-commerce, the borderless kind of potential, where it's just not possible to have a physical location at in every single market, or even within a huge market, in every single corner of the country, where the land is scarce, where it's expensive to rent or even maintain, or where, for example, if your country is prone to even natural disasters, for example, which I was speaking to one client recently as to what was the big reason why they want to move into e-commerce and reduce their risk with physical stores. And now with generative I think there is this huge move as well on how they can better use conversational or shopping commerce to support their client engagement. For example, even be it using Viber, using WhatsApp, or even Facebook Messenger, you can actually embed AI into it to make smart recommendations to the clients who are engaging through these channels. They can type in queries and then it can already do a deep search of what is the available promotion that you have in your business. What are the available inventory that will be suitable based on their search interests? Like for example, they can be talking about things like, I'm trying to find a dress for a cocktail party. So traditional AI, they would be searching based on very confined guidelines. So that's why traditional AI chatbots and such is dumb, right? It's quite limiting in that sense. In today's context, it can be very frustrating. It doesn't really give you what you want. But with Gen AI, with that kind of search capabilities, they actually have context. They can apply that context and then they give you smarter search results. Like they can really make intelligent recommendations like cocktail outfits, even right down to if you want to look like a certain celebrity, with the available info,
Hmm.
they can make that recommendation. So I think this is a game changer, where you can start to create more personalized services without costing you a bomb. Because imagine if you need to have that in the form of an actual salesperson, how many of them would you need to actually hire in order to provide that kind of service? Versus if everything is driven on the app using search, and then you can actually redeploy your people to provide higher value, even higher value, kind of most personalized kind of services to some of your customers that require a little bit of more high touch, and put them to build that relationship on a personal level, so that you have like human and AI working together instead of saying like you're displacing them completely. So with that, you can create a ecosystem where you can also start to build more loyalty, retention programs, and rewards program easily, digitally. And then just to make sure that all your journeys are seamless at the same time, which then will save you money in the long run versus if everything is all manual and all the engagements are also manual and there's no data capture anywhere, in terms of the interactions that have happened with your customers. So I think it's more a bigger picture when we look at e-commerce, um, and how they can work with humans as well as your physical stores. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, great points. Thank you. So let's talk about operational efficiency, an interesting area. In what ways does e-commerce streamline sales and distribution process? That's, I think, the biggest challenge in the e-commerce industry, handling the supply chain and aligning demand and supply. So first of all, I mean, I think in the supply chain process, I would say like automation of order processing needs a lot of attention, and there are systems available these days like Shopify, they're ready to plug in to any business model and can handle all these automation and processes. A lot of things can be relied on just tools like this. It reduces the manual entry of orders, forwarding in the workflow, and coordinating with different departments to from order for receiving order to the delivery. It takes huge efforts to deliver one order, and even especially when we want to consolidate a lot of orders on a daily basis and consolidating by areas for delivery and dates for delivery, it's a big effort. So automating these kind of processes, combining orders, shipments, managing partners, and things like that, um, automation is a big deal here. So um, that should be optimized quite well. And then centralizing of inventory for easier tracking, managing stock. Uh, Not every day everything is needed, so data can help intelligently to manage inventory in the different time of the year through celebrations like like Thanksgiving and Halloween time, like is more on, like, and Christmas especially, like it's high time
Mm.
for gifts and everything, like, and then stock up for those things. um, and different regions have different kind of demands, so uh, data can help vendors, e-commerce providers to uh, to to predict future demand and analyze, and then keep your inventory to the point at that level, so that, like, demand can be met. And then integrated logistics. That's really great for the real time coordination, especially with shipping partners. There's n number of delivery partners available these days, through uh, through ride sharing or other services like that. And um, and there are shared spaces available also in different warehouses, and coordination with all of those, real-time tracking for all of those, plus reliability for delivery with all of those, and then credibility, payments, commissions, all, I mean, everything is actually system driven. It's not possible to manage manually at this scale in the time where, like, we're talking AI on one side, and then on the other side trying to do everything manually in such kind of a business is a nightmare. So automating, data driven, centralizing everything, and then having a good sales capability that runs 24/7 through your systems without any downtime, enabling continuous transactions without any extra efforts or human intervention. Because um, processing all of that level of data, managing inventory, working with your suppliers even to stock up when needed, like when a lot of delivery, you're running out of stock on some item, like it should be a flag, an automated order to your vendors also to be placed based on certain rules, of course. But so automation, data driven, centralizing, integration are the keys here. Imagine, like, your buyers are coming to your e-commerce site, and they're not finding the product they want. What they will do, they will go to another website to find that item and then place order there, and those customers are not coming back to your website. Having an intelligent chatbot uh, kicked in at that point to keep engaging with that buyer, potential buyer, and then have a back order placed on that customer's behalf, and then still keep that customer updated and deliver when it's available. So imagine things like that can all only happen with an automated 24/7 sales tools, uh, to still deal with your customers whenever, even when you are out of those items, and then you still can uh, manage your business well. So again, um, be data driven, centralize processes, automate as much as possible, and have intelligent tools in place to take care of your customers. That's my take. What do you think?
Mm, mm. Very interesting. All very good point. I mean, I'm hearing a lot. This is really dependent on the data availability, right? And the
Yeah.
integration. Because I when I went to Korea recently for a trade show, I had a pleasure of meeting with one of the companies there that were dealing with some sort of virtual reality AR modeling to help companies, including logistics and shipping companies, to better forecast their actual and visualize the actual inventory. And then that's where I realized that actually this whole industry is very traditional. It's very arcade, it seems.
Hmm.
It seems like if your inventory at your physical store and your e-commerce store is indeed centrally managed digitally, is indeed, integrated in terms of the real-time tracking, then yes, for sure, you'll be seamless, and you can actually absolutely avoid waste as well as confusion as to the stock inventory. Because you can absolutely facilitate the ease of movements of one goods, like the goods from one location to the other, depending on the customer spending patterns. For example, one customer is buying online versus the other customer is buying for the same goods offline, and then you only have one item left. Like, can that kind of be reflected in real time, and how fast? And or even across different stores, right? Like buying for the same item and your stock is just left with one or two. How fast can that be reflected, really? And listening to the pitch of that company makes me realize that a lot of these facilitation actually is still done quite manually. They might not be connected, and then the worst case, sometimes they are in some arcade software or even like Excel or something that that gets reconciled maybe at the end of the day or at the end of the week. And if there is true digital integration, data integration, then they can actually reflect and let you visualize for sure each container, how many actual inventory is left in each warehouse container, or the way to which where is that container located, and then the person managing all of these can see it on a dashboard in real time. Even your distribution partners can see it as well. So for sure, there is all about operational efficiency. If you have a very successful integrated system to include both direct sales, indirect sales through your distribution partners, as I mentioned, and but then it all depends on the availability of digitally enabled tracking platforms for your real-time orders, your fulfillment, all the way to shipping, and of course, companies with more channels, it becomes very complex. It becomes even more complex and therefore even more crucial to have it digitally enabled for tracking and management. Otherwise, I do see that there is a lot of inefficiency happening where people are just trying to do reconciliation right down to heading down to the warehouses to do the manual counting. I can see it
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, which is a nightmare. Yeah. Yeah.
That these are all great points. And generally speaking, what I'm seeing, like,
Mm.
over last couple of decades working, like, we are always learning, and operations are never optimized.
Yeah.
By the time we optimize, we identify some issues, we automate or whatever, we upgrade systems, and we fix those problems, and we think like now we're good, we are stable. There are new problems arise because of new technology or new market habits or trend changing, or some disruption by a new startup happens in the industry. So things are always evolving. So operational efficiency is always like running behind model on those problems, because the new problems keep coming, the new
Mm.
challenges keep coming up.
Mm.
But still, like, it's more on the strategic a strategic angle to handle operations. Like operations need to be agile, need to be flexible enough to adjust based on situations, um, so that like even systems these days are also like quite flexible in terms of changing workflow based on business needs. So, uh,
Mm,
but long story short, like operational efficiency is kind of like most challenging job, I think, in any business. Ops are tough.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Operations is always neglected somehow, but yeah, it's the single almost thread that kind of binds everything together in terms of your processes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's underrated.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about customer experience. How does an online platform provide convenience and accessibility for customers? Of course, it does. Um, First of all, it's available all the time, like all those websites, 24/7, available anywhere. You just need internet and a device to get to that. There is no store hours or like lining up on the gates. So it's just that like you open up your phone and go for it. Plus, uh, it remembers you from your system, and it gives you very relevant and tailored information and recommend you those products that you will most likely intended to buy based on your behavior and preferences that you had been using on those sites. So this is very helpful. Imagine
Mm,
you are looking for a product on website and then you open YouTube. You will start seeing relevant videos. Or go to Facebook or Instagram. Those sites
mm,
are watching you very closely and understanding your
correct.
behavior and start to retarget you with recommendations. Like first thing you see on those search result later on is like the relevant promoted content on which you might be searching for to buy. And uh, I I'm a strong um, advocate for optimization, digital optimization, like simplify customer journeys. Um,
Mm,
Cart abandonment rate is all-time high. Although e-commerce is rising, people are buying online. It's like over 70% worldwide. People
mm,
getting to the item, add to the cart, but they don't check out. So, and
mm,
that's the last leg on the buyer's journey, but people are leaving it behind because payment process may not be very convenient, or it's asking a lot of information. It's not a good preview of the customer experience. So journeys should definitely be simplified. uh,
mm,
Amazon have introduced like one click purchase model also, and
mm,
they're doing very good at it. So these are the things like but still, despite all that, like cart abandonment rate is 70%. So
mm,
that means even that is also not enough. So it should be really, really quick and relevant. And and there should be some driving factor available also on the shopping cart, encouraging and motivating buyers not to abandon the cart. So that's the point, I think, where the great opportunity lies for vendors, for businesses, to understand their customers and why they are leaving without buying. So yeah, that's the biggest opportunity, and that's the last leg. And again, that's the moment of truth as well, from sales point of view. So customer experience is very sensitive on that step. So let's focus on that. And e-commerce is also enabling inclusivity for different kind of customers with mobility, location, demographic, and time constraints also. Uh, it is easier and reasonably cheaper or I would say cost effective, also to provide that level of experience to different kind of customers' needs based on their limitations or based on their preferences. Like you can switch to dark mode, light mode. You can change text size for readability. You can uh, adjust the size or colors, or like you can go to different devices based on your preference, and you can even play audio of the page as well to
Mm.
summarize what is on there. So uh,
Sure.
and that is very useful. I mean, it is very costly in the retail stores to accommodate all kind of needs, but with e-commerce, it's much better option for from customer experience point of view. So that's good. Like all businesses should prioritize accessibility factor for their digital experience. What do you think?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's really simplified and personalized, right? Like what you said. Simple doesn't mean that it doesn't get personalized. Simply simple journeys, simple
Mm-hmm.
experience, simple to get from point A to point B. I think that's what people value. And as long as it's like what we see is what we get, right?
Correct.
Online versus offline, so that it builds reliability and credibility as well for the brands in the customer perspective. Like be it reliable sizes, reliable fit for the clothes, the colors, even down to the styles. So using virtual reality, augmented reality type of functions, it helps customers to better visualize what it looks like when they apply it on them digitally. Helps them with the experience, helps them to feel confident that about the what you see is what you get to make that buying decision. Um, and of course, then using AI as well, the brands can start to learn more about their customers as a whole person. They can start to build more holistic profiles of them, their interests, their likes, and start to make more recommendations and personalized engagement with them on a daily basis, so that they don't have to wait till they come into the store to start their engagement or recommendation. Because I think if you, like you mentioned just now about the next day delivery, that one is also very important. Because if you really do have that connected ordering, fulfillment, and shipping system in place, customers can really get their items delivered the very next day, which is very important for customers nowadays, where we just want something immediately and we don't want to wait. And I think
Yes.
what's equally important is the mode of returns, exchanges or refunds. Like when something is really doesn't work out, you know, don't make it that painful for us to do that return. Because it's also part of creating trust towards the brand. Like we know that you're not just here to get the money and then get and then call it good. Like if we really regret something, please give us the opportunity to exchange it or totally refund it. I think a couple of the brands do it really well currently, and it
Yeah.
makes us feel good in general that there is this mutual trust from the brand dealing with us as a customer. So I think all of these actually are part and parcel of a good customer experience when it comes to e-commerce. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So one interesting story I'm coming to my mind right now about like your point of virtual reality for customers to
Mm,
visualize what it looks like
yeah.
before even making the buying order. So
Mm,
what happened? My wife ordered. It was about Halloween time, couple years ago, and my wife ordered pumpkins, the decorative pumpkins with lighting and all,
mm,
for decorating like on our porch outside. So,
mm.
uh, and when the order was delivered, those were like little tiny keyring size pumpkins. S-
That's hilarious.
yeah, because the pictures were like so closed up and like
Yeah.
they look so big. We I mean, she thought like it is probably like a foot big pumpkins. and those were like
Oh
tiny, like
no.
inch and half size pumpkin. So yeah, description wasn't very clear. Okay, and pictures were
Mm,
misleading.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the downside, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, you to your point, like the visualization and the 3D preview uh, at your place of the order, I see some sites are doing it, but yes, that should be available on customer's device regardless
Mm,
of the service provider. So yeah, I mean, I think that's where the opportunity is as well, like
mm,
a third party solution to build something like this so that it
mm.
can be visualized uh,
Yeah.
like from any site.
Mhm. Yeah. To
That
avoid
should be.
such instances. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, great insights, Jazz. So, e-commerce is a big deal, and we covered quite a good points. Thank you very much for your insights today, and we'll be back with our next episode soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Nev.